All right, Tori, we got a big event here today. What's going on?
This is the first time that we've had a volunteer fair, and it's being co-sponsored by the Wellesley Free Library and the League of Women Voters. And there are some 11, maybe 12 or 13 different groups that are made up of volunteers, which the town of Wellesley is known for so many, many years. So we're very happy that we've been able to get these groups together. And for the last 2 hours, we've had a steady stream of people coming in and looking over these volunteer opportunities that we hope will continue to grow in the future.
Now, it seems like Wellesley is a town of volunteers.
Yes, I think Wellesley is very generous with its volunteers. And I think that's a credit to the kinds of nice people that we have here in town. And whether it's in town government or in a private organization like Rotary, of which I represent, there are so many. The Historical Society, the League of Women Voters, Sustainable Wellesley. You mentioned these many groups. And for us to get together for the first time, first of all, to see each other, but also to meet and greet with the townspeople is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. So we are very grateful.
All right, so what are you guys doing here today?
Well, we are here representing the Wellesley Democratic Town Committee. My name's Michael Dortenzio. I'm one of the co-chairs. This is Susan Ryan, a past co-chair, and we try to advocate for the Democratic Party in Wellesley.
So what do you get beside the school badge when you join your group?
Well, you get to meet a whole bunch of wonderful people who are committed to improving government and advancing democratic values. And we love all volunteers, anybody who wants to help us in that.
That's right.
Well, so what's an improvement you guys have made?
An improvement that we have made.
Well, one thing we've tried to do is bring our state officials closer to residents in Wellesley. So we will regularly bring our federal officials, Congress people, state senators, state representatives, try to bring them to Wellesley so people can talk to them, ask them questions, and have a better relationship.
That's right. We also try and get people engaged in the political process and to reach out to people and also to be involved in campaigns. So volunteering on campaigns both here in Massachusetts and also helping out in campaigns around the country.
Very good. Anything else we should know?
You can go to our website, wellsleydems.org, if you want to join or learn more.
So what does the Village Table do?
So Village Table is looking to address food insecurity in the Metro West area. And we do that to organizations that have a set of clientele, a specific set of clientele that they're looking to lift up. And so we're providing an additional wraparound service to that organization. Secondly, though, we're also filling free food fridges. Yes, so every 2 weeks we run a cooking session, and that begins with prepping ingredients. So for example, we might be making chicken teriyaki with rice and ginger green beans. So we'll have a team come in and they'll do all the prep for the ingredients needed to make that dish. So that'll be a 2-hour session of prepping. Then the next night we'll have a team of cooks come in for 2 hours to make all of everything that I just listed. And then the third part is to have the packaging team come. And the beautiful thing about Village Table is it's a multi-age volunteer community. So even in our shopping and cooking sessions, we might have some middle schoolers or some high schoolers, but definitely in our packaging session, we attract a great set of eager high schoolers who love to package up the 250 to 400 meals that go out into the community.
Wow, it must be kind of exciting to deliver the meals.
I think it is. That's the one aspect of the operation I have not experienced yet. But I know often we'll show up to a free food fridge that will be empty. I think we have a picture of a free food fridge that had like one stalk of celery in it. And we leave with it completely filled. And we've had volunteers go back 2 days later and every single meal has been taken.
What is the experience like being at the Village Table?
It's really fun. There's a lot of high schoolers that I've met because of it who are in junior year or senior year, and it's really fun. I'm 14.
Okay, cool. So why did you decide to do this?
I thought it would be a fun thing and it would help with my bat mitzvah project.
So So you get some credit for this?
I got credit for it, and I just like doing it. I've done it for 3 years now.
What do you like so much about it?
I like meeting new people and cooking a lot and helping people in need.
So ladies, tell me about the Wellesley Service League.
So Wellesley Service League is a group of about 80 women, all of whom reside in Wellesley, and we volunteer with different organizations throughout the town, many of whom are actually here today. So we volunteer with the library, with the Ellie Fund, the food pantry, Friendly Aid, Mass Bay, the Charles River Center in Needham. So we do a lot of volunteer within the community and surrounding towns. We require 65 hours of service of every member every year. And it's just a nice group of women who have the interest of making a difference in their community in common. And we have social events as well, but it's a really nice group of people.
So you're volunteering to volunteer.
We are.
Yeah. That's very meta. So just women?
Yes.
Is there a different group for men?
Not that I'm aware of, but you should start one.
Maybe you should start one. That's a good idea.
I'll put the word out.
Yes.
All right. So like, what's an example of something you've done recently?
Oh gosh, well you were at an event today.
I was just at the, what was it called? It was the 3 Square Meals Bike-a-thon in Dedham, where it funds all the food, like 29 food pantries in Massachusetts. And they've raised tons of money already. It was amazing to see all the people coming in, the teams.
And just being here, you're kind of doing something.
We are.
All right.
We are. Yeah, absolutely.
Anything else we should know? You guys have a website?
We do indeed. Yep, it's
And
right
we
there.
have information about the coffee. Maybe tell-
www.wellesleyserviceleague.org. So you can sign up for information there. We're going to have an informational coffee in probably February, around there, for people who are interested, and we look forward to meeting women in the community.
Awesome.
So it started here in 1972. Some Wellesley College professors were involved in the national organization and wanted to bring it to Wellesley. And basically what they do is they bring inner city students from outside of Boston. And they come and they live in a house, and they have a resident director, and they have a resident tutor, and they go to Wellesley High School. They start as freshmen, and as long as their grades are good, they stay through graduation.
Good. So when you're volunteering for ABC, what are you doing?
It depends on what you want to do. I happen to be the volunteer ride coordinator, so people have signed up to offer the girls rides when they need to go to doctor's appointments, or they want to go to the mall, or get their hair done, and anything that's not within walking distance.
So I know some people visit families while they're in town too.
They have a host family that they stay with 1 weekend a month. So we have hosts. That's another volunteer job, is being a host family. And the girls stay with them once a month, and they should be part of the family.
Very good. How did you decide to get involved in this?
I got involved because one of the other volunteers, who's been doing it for a lot longer than I have, her son worked for me teaching sailing, and it was the first year of the spring of the first year of COVID, towards the end of the first year, and she wanted the girls to be able to do something off campus, so she asked if they could learn how to sail. And I said I would be delighted to do it. So I brought them down to Farm Pond in Sherburne and put them in boats. And we did some sailing. Since they all couldn't come in one boat at the same time, they also used the kayaks and the stand-up paddleboards.
What do we do? Well, as I mentioned, we hold a number of very interesting events like Taste of Wellesley, which raised over $25,000 last year for food insecurity and other causes. We also run the Dinner on Us event. I'll hold up a poster here. This is our event that we're doing this fall, where people can buy a chance, if you will. It's a sweepstakes technically, and if you buy a chance, you could win over $3,000 yourself, and there will be a total of $5,000 in prizes. The first prize in this is that you win 30 gift cards to 30 different restaurants. $100. So you win a $3,000 grand prize. And think of that. That's a lot of stocking stuffers that you could have for the holidays. If you want to get involved in Rotary, we'd love to have you. We need volunteers to help with Taste of Wellesley and all the other fun things we do. We have an awesome holiday party every year. We know how to have fun. So we're looking for new volunteers to help us out and hope folks can join us.
So Taylor, tell me, what is the Wellesley Historical Society up to right now?
So today at the volunteer fair, we're looking specifically for volunteers for our events committee, who helps design, run, fundraise for our 3 annual events, so our Craft Beer Oktoberfest, our Trivia Night, and our Spring Gala. And then they also help us sort of participate in smaller community events, so the Halloween Stroll or Wellesley's Wonderful Weekend. And then also we're looking for volunteers for our Toll House shop, which is open on Saturdays and Wednesdays. So we're always looking for new volunteers willing to help staff that.
What are you guys moving into the new place?
Moving target. We have about $1 million worth of work. We're waiting to hear back on a couple of grants. If that goes through this cycle, we could start work, next summer. If it doesn't, back to the drawing board, reapply. Parts of the building are ready to go, but we're missing sort of waterproofing, HVAC, essential things that will allow us to move our collections over there safely.
So what's the point of the Wellesley Historical Society?
So we are both a repository and an educational resource. So our job is to collect and preserve Wellesley's historical record, but also to make it available for researchers. And that's both, I want to know the history of my house, or why does this rock have, a plaque on it, to professional PhD researchers, novelists, professional historians. And then also creating educational programming to share not only Wellesley's history, but sort of the general love of history.
Anything else we should know?
Check out our new website. So we just redesigned our website. So if you haven't looked at it before, check it out.
Sounds good. I know you have a lot of big events coming up.
Yes, our craft beer event is coming up on Thursday. So tickets are still available and available on our website.
What does the Wellesley Council on Aging do? The Council of the Aged, I guess.
Well, want to read our mission statement there?
Yeah, we're still working on the mission statement, but what we do is we provide community reach to all our seniors in terms of, it could be health with myriad of things, whether it be financial. We have Kate works with us. She's with the seniors. What is she?
That's
social worker
for seniors.
We offer programs. We offer lunches, we offer transportation. We fill all the needs as possible as we can do for the Wellesley community.
So I'm guessing you're directly attached to Tolles Parsons in some way?
That's correct.
We're in the Tolles Parsons Center. Right now we're recruiting for volunteers to be drivers, volunteers to ride the COA bus and help seniors with their groceries. We have in the Tolles Parsons Center, we have a greeter position where the volunteer sits at the front desk and welcomes people and gives tours and shares information about all the different programs and directs them to what's happening in which rooms. And then, as Frank was saying, we have a lunch program Tuesdays through Fridays, and you have a great group of volunteers who help us serve that lunch. And it's go to the Wellesley Council on Aging. On our website is a link that says volunteer. It summarizes some of the volunteer positions that are open, and there's a link to the volunteer application, and it comes right into my email, and we follow up from there.
Anything else we should know?
No, just that it's a really fun place to work.
Stop by. You'll be entertained.
And it's a fun place
won't
to
have a miserable time.
Exactly.
It's a fun place to go to, and it's also a fun place to volunteer.
You guys are building better Wellesley, I hear.
Yes.
How you doing that?
How are we doing that? Well, I bill ourselves as the positive voice for thoughtful housing development in Wellesley. We realize that there are a lot of issues with seniors not having a place to downsize in town that they can afford, but also a lot of new developments popping up that people feel they haven't gotten a lot of good input on. And so we're trying to broaden We're trying to broaden the coalition that shows up to town meetings and is able to talk through these issues in order to make the developments better before they get built. So
are there a lot of issues that you're working on, or is that the main one?
I think that's the main one. I mean, we're in a kind of reactive state of mind in this town because we have had a lot of, first 40B and now kind of outside of 40B housing developments being proposed. And I think we need a lot of long-term comprehensive planning that the planning board just doesn't have capacity for right now because they're doing large house review for half their meetings.
Cool. So I suppose if you're in that age group, when you're retiring and stuff like that, that's
Right.
a huge issue.
Absolutely. And it's certainly not the only age group that needs focusing on. I mean, we have young families who can't set roots down in town, even though they work here, they teach at the college, etc. They're teaching our kids at Wellesley Public Schools, etc. But there's we hope a broad coalition for this kind of effort in town that we can think makes town employees, nurses, firefighters being able to be a part of our community again.
So, how did you guys get involved with this?
I've been involved since 2019. I, reached out to town elected officials about it, and there was one who's standing right there who was, trying to organize a group like this, and so I've been involved from pretty much the beginning.
Now, do you have somebody in your life who they're sort of in that transitioning time?
If you want to learn more about us, you can go to buildingabetterwellesley.org.
Well, the town of Wellesley, the government of the town of Wellesley is largely staffed by volunteers. And
I did not know that.
And what we are doing today is making known the opportunities that are available and hoping people who are interested will sign up. Somebody will contact them, and hopefully they will become volunteers as part of our town government.
What kind of volunteers do you need?
Well, for example, let me talk about what I know best. As the town moderator, I'm responsible for making the appointments to 5 different committees. The moderator makes appointments to the Audit Committee, to the Advisory Committee, to the Human Resources Board, to the Community Preservation Committee, and what am I leaving out? The Permanent Building Committee. So that's a total of 34 different positions for which the town moderator is responsible for making the appointments. And to do that's a lot.
Now, I think a lot of people might be overwhelmed saying, I don't know enough about government to do this. What would you tell them?
Well, you start off by watching the town meetings. They're on Zoom, and Wellesley Media. That you run for town meeting member. It only takes 10 names on your nomination papers to run for town meeting, and you'll find through that, number one, you'll meet a lot of interesting people that you never would have met otherwise, and number two, you'll find things that you're interested in where you might want to spend more time. And those are all of these various committees that you see here. And if you look here at our organizational chart, you'll see almost everybody in the top line, which are all of the elected officials in town. The only one that is a compensated position is the town clerk, which is a full-time job.
That's amazing.
It's amazing, but that's really the strength of the town, is the quality and quantity of people who do volunteer.
Now, is there some kind of training for people, or is it, do you expect people to have some kind of similar background, or?
Well, again, let me talk about the committees that I'm most familiar with. Generally, the bylaws will set out some of the basic requirements. For example, Human Resources Board. We're obviously looking for people that have some professional background in personnel or human resources. Permanent Building Committee, we're looking for somebody with architectural experience, somebody with legal experience, somebody with construction experience, and so forth. Audit Committee, we look for people who have accounting experience or some financial expertise. Advisory committee, which in many respects is probably the most active of all of the committees because it meets once a week virtually throughout the year, is the basically the eyes and ears for the town meeting, and meets with all of the various boards and committees throughout the year, listens to their proposals, examines their budgets, and makes recommendations to the town meeting. But it's up to the town meeting members, which is the legislative body of the town, to make the determination whether or not to approve a budget or a bylaw amendment and so forth.
Okay, well, you got a lot of smart people in this town. I'm sure a lot of them want to volunteer.
Absolutely, but there's always room for more.
Sure thing. All right, thanks a lot. If I wanted to join the League of Women Voters, do you let men in?
Absolutely. We're not just for women.
Okay, good to know. But like the Justice League of America, do you need to have a superpower?
You don't. We will take anybody. What you need to do is care about your community and the country, and because what we do is we protect democracy. That's our. And
so you are kind of like superheroines.
We don't. Maybe, but we really get things done just one step at a time, and it's the kind of thing anybody can get involved in terms of voter service, voter registration, advocating for issues. We're about 150 people strong at this point in our community, and we do things like help organize the volunteer fair today.
Make sure people understand town government and how the voting works in our town.
Exactly.
So you guys do events and stuff too?
We do. As a matter of fact, we just had our opening meeting that was held here in the Wakeland Room on who is protecting your right to read, and really discussing the trend in book banning across the country and what our library and our state is doing to make sure that we all have access to the information that we need. We also organize a lot around the town election. We have a Meet the Candidates night for candidates running for public office. We encourage people, matter of fact, to run for public office, and we do organize a How to Run for Public Office event as well.
So how did you ladies become involved?
So originally, my mother was very involved in the League of Women Voters in Watertown when I was an infant, and then in Lincoln as I was growing up. So I'd always known about the League, and when I got more interested in what was going on in Wellesley, I saw that my neighbor had a sign that was a, League of Women Voters encourages you to vote, and I went and knocked on her door and I said, tell me more about the League.
How about you, Ellie?
Well, I first was in the League in the 70s when we were trying to get the ERA passed, and so now that I have more time, I made sure that I rejoined. I've retired. I care deeply about democracy and about voting and about the ERA and everybody else's rights, and it was a no-brainer. You've got to join the League.
Okay, so I assume you guys, is there like a local website, or you go to a national website, or?
So lwvwellesley.org is our local website. There's also at lwvma.org, which is the Massachusetts website, and then just lwv.org is the national website. So we operate at 3 levels of just like our government, national, state, and local.
That's great. I'm going to say you guys are honorary superheroes.
Well, that's very kind of you.
We'll keep striving.
All right, thank you very much.